This is Steve Downs, and I play Master Chief in Halo. Let's see if I can remember my iconic lines, presented by Xbox. Master Chief, you mind telling me what you're doing on that ship? Sir, finishing this fight.
Master Chief, you mind telling me what you're doing on that ship?
Sir, finishing this fight.
Finishing this fight is, I would say, certainly Master Chief's most iconic line. It's the line I'm probably asked to repeat more than any others. There are a few others there. I need a weapon. Giving the Covenant back their bomb. And then there's also, wake me when you need me. Those are some of the greatest hits, I think. Okay, so the line is given by Cortana towards the end of Combat Evolved when she says, "It's finished." And the Chief says, "No, I think we're just getting started."
Halo, it's finished.
No, I think we're just getting started. 25 years ago, I can't recall any game where it was actually like, okay, this is the end, because it hasn't been the end for some 25 years, so there's always a little bit of a, but wait, there's more type of feeling. Finishing this fight was the last line of Halo 2, and I do remember there was a lot of pushback because they didn't like the cliffhanger. Now, of course, with the passage of time, all is forgiven, but at the time, it did stir a little bit of controversy. Let me see who's on the leaderboard, huh? Okay. With some big names there. Ned Luke, Brianna White, Alex Jordan. I'm going to set my sights on old Troy and see if we can knock him off. I don't care if it's God's own anti-son of a machine or a giant hula hoop. I'll stake my life. Well, I better not stake my life, but I will stake something on that's Sergeant Johnson.
Well, I don't care if it's God's own anti-son of a machine or a giant hula hoop. We're not going to let him have it.
Yeah, okay. That was pretty easy, though. Nobody else talks like that in Halo. Sergeant Johnson, who was played by David Scully, one of my favorites. My favorite, of course, is obviously Cortana, played by the great Jen Taylor, who is my companion throughout the game. And then there's Guilty Spark, 343 Guilty Spark, played by Tim Dadabo, who lends his own madness to the franchise in the first 3 games. She said that to me once about being a machine.
She said that to me once about being a machine.
Yes! It is one of my favorite lines. It's really when you start to see the humanity of Master Chief, which becomes more exposed in Halo 4. Master Chief is a character whose emotion was literally bred out of him as a boy, and yet it's still there. So he struggles with trying to figure out how to process that. The first conversation that we had as to who Master Chief was, the target he gave me was Clint Eastwood. He was the type of character that he didn't say much either, but when he did, somebody usually got killed. So that was sort of my launching point for finding the voice of Master Chief. Welcome home, John. That, of course, was said by Cortana.
Welcome home, John.
The relationship between Master Chief and Cortana, well, as they say, it's complicated. Is there a romantic quality to their relationship? I believe there is. Is there a sibling quality? Absolutely. And there's really some support for that, considering that both Master Chief and Cortana came from Halsey. And then there's also the comrades in arms quality to their relationship. When Bungie released the game to Microsoft, and Microsoft took it over in Halo 4, there was a movement to replace both Jen and I as the voice of Master Chief and Cortana. They actually had other actors who did record the voices in Halo 4, but when they sort of beta tested the thing, people didn't like the fact that their Master Chief didn't sound like the same guy and Cortana didn't sound like Cortana.
How many Covenant made it through the roof after us?
I can't tell. This planet is wreaking havoc on my sensors. There's an incredible amount of chatter on the Covenant battle nets.
So we came back in and again were saved by the fans, as it were. That damn near happened after Combat Evolved. With the massive success, when they went back in to do Halo 2, there was a suggestion that they were going to get some celebrity voices, to do these characters. And I remember somebody said Tom Cruise was mentioned as being the voice of Master Chief. But fortunately, cooler heads prevailed. This is Steve Downs, and this is Fall Damage presented by Xbox. This is an Xbox. This is also an Xbox. And this is an Xbox. In fact, you're watching this on an Xbox. Play Xbox on all these Xboxes. For what purpose, Master Chief? And the line, I believe, after that is to give the Covenant back their bomb.
Sir, permission to leave the station.
For what purpose, Master Chief?
To give the Covenant back their bomb.
Permission granted.
The Chief doesn't have a lot of lines. I often say, I'm glad I didn't get paid by the word. Because it might have been a different scene. When you have fewer lines, they really have to land. And I had the benefit of having great writers who gave me great material to be able to see that through. I think that, having had the benefit of now voicing Master Chief for 25 years, I kind of get to know the guy. And it has nothing to do with, the tonal quality. It has to do with understanding who this character is behind all that armor. You trade one villain for another. Who said that line? I'm gonna say the Arbiter.
You trade one villain for another.
The great Keith David. I didn't know that at the time when I was recording my lines, but when I saw the game, when it finally came out, I was like, oh my God, I'm talking to Keith David. The first time I met him many years ago was at a convention in Atlanta. I was certainly the fanboy in that particular scenario because I had been, even before Halo, I had been a huge fan of him both as an actor and as a voice actor. The very first one I ever made was a guy was opening up a video game store, again down in Florida, and invited me to come down to be at their grand opening. But the two things I told him was, I will not dress up as the character, and I don't play the game, so don't put me in a situation where that's involved, because I don't play. Unbeknownst to me, he was having a contest, the winner of which would play me at Halo. He said, don't worry about it. We have a professional who's going to be behind a curtain who will be actually controlling your side of the game, and you will have a controller that's not plugged in. Turns out an 11-year-old girl won the right to play me at Halo. And even though there's a professional on the other side of the curtain, she wiped both of us off the map in about 15 seconds. And I just remember the feeling of humiliation having an 11-year-old girl look at you go, really? You're Master Chief? Wow, dude. So who said this line? I am the last face you will ever see. Well, first thought, best thought. Atriox.
My name is Atriox, and I am the last face you will ever see.
That was a great scene, if I recall, towards the beginning of Halo Infinite. That's how it starts, so you knew it was going to be a long day for the Chief. My personal ranking of the Halo villains, certainly at the very, very top is the Flood. I think the Flood, when the Flood made its appearance in Combat Evolved, what I hear from people when they first played Halo CE is that this is a whole different thing than what I thought. This is not just a sort of a military-style space alien shooter game. Now there's a whole horror quality to this. But I think my favorite of the, villains is the Arbiter, because that, relationship went from villain to comrades in a sense. I'll miss you. What comes next? Oh, shoot. That's Cortana, and I believe that's Halo 4. I'll miss you. Oh, it's right on the tip of my tongue, but it's not coming.
I miss you.
Wake me when you need me. Oh my God. Doink! But of course it's wake me when you need me. Hold on, my watch is telling me I took a hard fall. I don't want him to call 911. As a voice actor, you go in when we did Combat Evolved. I think I did 2 sessions, 2 separate days, and really forgot about it. And it wasn't until months and months and months later that I was at a friend of mine's house down in Florida, and his kids were playing Halo, and it jogged my memory. And I said, whoa, I think I voiced a character in that game. And so they were, who? And I said, well, I can't really remember his name, but I'm pretty sure he was the main guy in the game. Within 15, 20 minutes, there's 30 or 40 kids in the neighborhood, all at my friend's front door with an Xbox or a copy of the game wanting me to sign it. And that was the big revelation, that we had a tiger by the tail. And, I was probably the last to know, but at least I got it at that point. All right, so who said this line? Now I know you to be a heretic. Boy, you said they would get tougher. Since I can't remember his name, I got to give you something. I'm going to say Guilty Spark.
Now I know you to be a heretic. You claim to follow Marduk, but you do Gemma's work.
I never would have got that. That is a gunner from Subterra Core, right? That was the very first video game I ever did. Without Subterra Core, I would not have been the voice of Master Chief. Bungie at the time was based in Chicago, and I had a radio show, which was my day job, as it were. And Marty heard me on the radio and just thought I had the sound that he was looking for to do this character. And I said, well, how much does it pay? And he said, not much. And I said, I'm in. That began a great relationship, and it began a journey that certainly changed my life exponentially. Okay, so where am I on the leaderboard now? Well, I'm top 10. I beat Troy, although you had a lot more to choose from Troy. So, to be fair, for more like this, watch this video next. You tricked me. I'll see you on the battlefield.